This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Spiritual Psychic with Sara Wiseman, where you'll learn how to unlock the secrets of spiritual intuition and your own psychic gifts. Here's Sara.
Welcome everyone to Visionary Psychics. I'm Sara Wiseman, and I'm here with one of our visionary psychics, DENISE HINKLEMAN, who is a psychic, psychic spiritual coach and an energetic healer. So welcome, DENISE, to this sort of conversation that we're having.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be a part of this and to be a part of the Visionary Psychics. Thank you, Sara.
Well, we've known each other a while, and what always struck me is your ability to just kind of feel into the emotional part of a situation. Like that's a really big gift for you. And I'm just wondering if you could tell us how your psychic self came to you, or when you knew you had it, or kind of what the journey's been like for you.
Yeah, actually, I have always felt intuitiveness, intuitive about knowing things about people or certain things that were going to happen. And through coaching with you, through your classes and everything, and other just spiritual growth, I have just really learned that we are all spiritual beings, and that it's just so it's very easy. I should say it's very simple, but it's not easy to get out of your human self and understand the awareness that it's so easy. So that's really what I hope to bring to other people, is some healing in that respect, in their emotional and spiritual aspects.
Do you have like I noticed at the beginning of my practice, I would have one style of client come. Actually, they were usually dealing, in my case, with like sexual abuse. And then kind of as the years went on, I would get like the same kinds of clients showing up and they tended to parallel what I was working on. Are you noticing like,
yep, absolutely,
who you're seeing and what they're working on?
a lot of relationship issues and emotional, just I would say self-confidence and people who just are a big feeling of loss, or just not lost, but they're lost. Their direction of who am I and what is this all about, and why am I here? There's no purpose. Why am I struggling? Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like that is my clients. Needing direction.
So how do you think, like I noticed that the pandemic, at least around here with the lockdowns that we've had, not now, but at the beginning, it was really a call to people to kind of look for more meaning or figure out meaning. What do you notice around like this enforced change? Because some places there wasn't much lockdown, sometimes there was a lot. So, but like this idea that we're going through this big thing, or we have been for a few years, how do you think that brought people to like seek meaning?
Yeah, I do believe that has really brought people together, brought people to understand that hopefully that what we see is not always the way it really is, or how life really is, that there is much more to it than just the here and now. Yeah.
Do you think that like do you think that the people that you're seeing, or just in general people who are currently a little bit lost, which is a lot of us, like part of it has to do with letting go of what we were told in our lives, you know, when we were younger? Or what's your take on the process of changing and opening to a more spiritual self?
Yeah, I think I do believe that we are headed that way. More and more people that I talk to are feeling that, um, and that there is the rules, I guess, of
Mm-hmm.
what we were taught
Yeah.
are not all the way that it really is, that we can break free of those limited beliefs and test the waters and see what's out there. That's been my experience of the whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that helping people to have that realization is very important. Yeah.
Do you think that that's new? Because I find, like, if I look at my parents' generation or my grandparents, I don't think they were allowed to have any kind of spirituality. They could have religion, but they didn't really want that. And then there was just kind of nothing. And now we have some different, like, what do you think about what we're like? It seems like we're in a time where we can explore this.
Right. Yeah. And I think that it's going to even grow more. And this is going to be the change that we really need. I mean, we may not see it in our lifetime, yours and mine, but hopefully that the collective will really come about.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you, what's your process when you're doing a reading with somebody? Well, how do you start? Like, what do you look for? How do you,
Yes.
yeah.
So I if someone comes to me and they would like a reading or some guidance on some questions that they have, I set the appointment up, and I usually go into meditation and I ask spirit or the universe or my guides, what is it that so and so is going through, and what do they need to know, and how can I guide them? And I kind of set that intention a few minutes or a few days before the appointment, and then I just write it all down. I
Uh-huh,
just write
uh-huh,
all this whole, like,
uh-huh,
scribble, scribble,
uh-huh,
scribble.
uh-huh.
And what I like to do is I tell the client, you know, I usually email them before the appointment, please have a few questions ready that we could discuss that you might need guidance on. And I just let them know at the time of the call that you know, I meditated about them, and I came up with some what I thought that, or what spirit guided me on the information that they are struggling with and need guidance through. And I just kind of spill it all out.
Mhm,
And then
mhm,
I just tell them, well, I'm going to just kind of put it all out there.
mhm,
And then we will have time to discuss what I told you. I have it all written down. So you could ask me about, oh, you said this or you said that.
mhm.
And then we'll discuss it in length a little bit. And then if you have any questions or your questions, we'll have time for those at the end of the reading for about 15 minutes. And usually I answer their questions.
Yeah.
It just happens that way. And they're like, oh, wow.
Does it, so I have a kind of similar process. I don't write it down quite at that level, but does it ever really surprise you what you get initially as sort of like, how can this be right? Do I really have to say this to the client? Do you ever get surprised by what you receive?
Yeah, well, in the beginning,
It's
sorry.
fine. It's good.
In the beginning, I really, because I would never have thought that I would do something like this. And in the beginning, I was very surprised at, oh, I should have said that, because that's exactly what they're asking. And I would hold back. And then I just, as it went on, as the readings went on, I just said to myself, or my guide said to me, just say all this stuff that you've written down. You've written it down for a reason. And I just explained to them, whether they're used to having readings or not. Some people are and some people aren't. I just tell them, well, this is what I got, and I really want to just spill it all out there. And I am surprised, and I wouldn't, in the beginning, I didn't say it all. I didn't say most of it.
Yeah.
But now I do.
Yeah.
Because it's stuff they might need to hear, and that they weren't really thinking that that was their question.
Right.
But that was something that they had to work through. So I think that that's spirit guiding me.
I think sometimes people come in with like the questions they think they should be asking, and then the universe is like, we don't even care about that stuff. Here's the crux of the issue. And that can be surprising. What do you do if you have a client that, sometimes when you hit the truth so clearly, there's some resistance. How do you manage that emotionally, like in the moment? Like I tend to just relax and kind of say, this is not me saying my opinion. This is it coming through me. What do you, how's your?
I do similar. I say, well, you might not think that it's an issue. I mean, I don't really say that. But I think it in my head. Well, you might not think that's an issue. No, but I say, well, I want you to think about this over the next few days. And feel how this resonates with you, that really it might not be something that's in your forethought, but it's really something that you might want to consider addressing, that will help with your struggles.
Right.
I kind of just ease them into it.
I think that's so wise. I've had readings for myself and I'm so resistant and stubborn as a personality. So it's like, no. And then a few days later, it's like, oh yeah, of course, that's exactly it. And kind of respecting that people want to hear what they think they want to hear. But then what they receive in a reading is actually way more valuable, even if it's not what they were thinking about.
Right. Yeah. And they understand it, I hope they feel, as time goes on and they think about the reading, whether I have another reading with them, in the future or a year from then. Oh, what you talked about, that was really it. That was really something that came about later that I never really thought. So it is. And I feel that the guides really are just kind of giving us messages that they want people to know or understand about themselves. So if we just give that little seed of information to them.
Right. Do you feel I know when I began to come in contact with the guides, which was a big surprise initially to me, and then sort of beginning to rely on that guidance, that not just reading for clients, but like in my own life, everything got, even the difficult things got easier because you just had this sense of knowing where things were going, and how, tell about how that is for you in following your own
Yeah,
guidance.
I do feel that that is really key, that you don't always understand, and you can lose your trust
Yeah.
in that knowing or higher power to guide us, and we can just get back into our ego selves and think, oh no, we should be doing this.
Mhm.
I should
Mhm.
be doing this. And then when we release and surrender to it, we see that it's really what was meant to be, what was meant to happen, but we were resistant, and that's why we were having struggle.
Right.
I feel that anyone who is going through a struggle, there they can have the ability to trust in the higher beings and the higher consciousness and power to guide us,
Mhm.
that it's all going to be okay, that we're not
Yeah.
alone. Yeah.
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 I think that's interesting about trusting because, and it definitely seems like whenever we go in the ego direction, we get super lost
Yep.
and take the wrong, and ego could be, being selfish or thinking you're better than others, but it could also be, being depressed and thinking you're less than others. It's kind of like
Absolutely.
either way
Yep.
of being separate. Um,
Right.
I know I used to stress out so much, like, am I marketing correctly, and I just really realized, like, if the guides are going to come through me and guide me, I really don't even have to think about like the thing I should be doing. It's like I don't really need to stress about that. It'll if the guides are helping us as they are, why do we need to pay attention to things at that level and try and control it? And we don't need to. And
Right. Oh
yeah,
yeah. That's definitely um good, exactly what a lot of people, including myself, need to hear, because
yeah,
you can get stuck in those types of situations and in our ego, and think it's so human to and common to think, oh, we should be doing this or we should be doing that. But when you do surrender, it's amazing how that the synchronicities and the things just fall in place.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like the synchronicities fall in place no matter where you are. Like I live in a pretty, no offense to the town, but kind of a nondescript town, and where you think nothing would ever happen, and yet even just going for a little walk, and
Yeah.
an animal comes or a thought comes or an idea, it's like we can't miss it when we're open to the guidance.
Right. And asking, what I've learned recently, in asking for that sign, or that even if it is anyone who it doesn't feel like they have any kind of intuitive
Mhm.
ability,
Yes.
and they were to pray or ask for guidance, ask for help,
Hmm.
and just show me a sign that you are with me, that you have my back.
Yeah.
And a sign will come.
Yeah.
A sign comes, and people, if they're open and aware to it, I
Yeah.
feel that they'll, because the signs are there all the time.
Yeah, the signs are. I just got super big chills when you said all that, and I'm hoping that people listening at the end of this little video will go like and ask for a sign and just see
Yeah.
what happens, because it's like the universe can't help us if we don't ask. Like we have to participate too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's so, and things popping in, like I sometimes feel I'm just walking on a path waiting to get the next little piece, and I don't really question anymore. Like these videos, I think I was in the shower and it just came like, you should do videos with everybody. I was like, no. No, I don't want to do that. That's time consuming and technical, and then I just like, yeah, okay, I'll figure that out. And it's not like I was thinking, what will my plan be, or just like, okay, do that. And sometimes it's as simple as a lot of those things where we're sort of spacing out, like showering, washing the dishes, going for a walk.
Yeah.
And then it just like, here's the next step. We're just going to drop that into you and following it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Those types of things, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Shower, that's the funny thing. I get my best intuitive knowings in the shower.
In the shower. So now, yeah, it's something about you just spacing out in that state of, I noticed, and we talked earlier before we started recording, but you have these beautiful plants, and I really feel that they are supporting, like plants. Like I have this giant crystal behind, and crystals in here, and animals and nature and music, and just like, what kind of things do you use that help you kind of like have that vibration be really open and accepting?
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up, because I was just thinking that before our call, about, I always thought that, oh, I had to do something a certain way. I had to meditate a certain way, or oh, I need a candle burning, or I need crystals, or something, but you, as someone who came into my abilities over time, more knowing, and not, some people are just really born that way, open already. And I wasn't. I had to remember how to connect. And you don't need any certain way. I feel much more connected out in nature when I walk with plants. I have so many plants. This is just my tiny little office, but out there in my house, there's overgrown. But yeah, I couldn't live without having nature inside and outside, and going out. And I feel that really going for walks. I go for a walk every day, being outside, and sometimes I go on a longer hike during the week, and it really, really resets me. And just the fresh air, and knowing that we're all, even the forest, the trees, everything, the animals, we're all one. Yeah. And you don't need a special way.
Right. Well, it's funny. So, so we're recording this in December 2021. So I think recently we just had a lunar eclipse that was visible here in Oregon.
Yeah.
And so everyone always is like, they're saging their house. And so I have a really big problem with fire. And So I took my sage and like I'm attempting to like do my ritual, and my sage is like not burning, or it's burning too much. And it's like, okay, I tried, but I think for some people, like I'm an air sign, so props are not really my thing. Other people, maybe they're more grounded personality, that's going to work really good for them. But just this idea of, you can use all that, or you don't have to use any of it. You can do it one way, or you can do it completely differently, but just finding the place for you where you feel that that opening there.
Right.
Yeah, you're just finding it for yourself.
Yeah. And I think that also surrendering and letting go and just knowing and having that trust, that really, really helped me a lot, of just having the trust that that the guides are always there, that you can have any answer that you want.
Right.
You just have to not be fearful,
Right.
and open, and
Yeah.
the information will come, I feel,
That you
quicker
need.
than you think.
Yeah, and it's exactly that you need. And kind of my journey's been, when the information comes, like for me, like not arguing with it, just like fine. I used to in the past, just here's the information, and then it was just like a hard no from me, and of course that creates struggle. But if you just instead just like, oh, this is what I'm receiving, and I'm gonna just follow the guidance. I'm not gonna question. I'm just gonna follow it. And that was a big changing point for me.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't have to be, it's very easy. It doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah,
It's just so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to those, for those listening, or any thought that's coming to you that you'd like to share?
Just that if you trust yourself, your answers will be there, and having guidance helps. Having someone on the same, I guess, in your pocket, like you or me, having a mentor or a friend, if that's what you need to start out or get there. Yeah, I think that that's important to have a what do you call it, cohort?
Yeah, like a having a community, even if it's just one other person to kind of, because this information, like what we're doing, is kind of new to the world. I mean, or it's probably been around for centuries at some level, but then on the other hand, it's very new for this time. And so kind of getting those support systems of other people who are exploring and practicing and trying different things out. Yeah, just like finding, so you can go, like we can all go further together than we can.
Right. And it helps to have a no judgment zone. No judgment of yourself. So we're not judging ourselves, and we're not judging each other. We're just supporting each other. And I think that that is the most important thing, is support and love for each other.
And there's no, this work is like the opposite of, say, sports, because it's really, if we're all connecting into oneness, it's impossible to compete. Like competition is separation, so that's impossible for this work. So yeah, we support each other because we're all of the same essence.
Right. And I thought that was a big hang up in the beginning for me, is well, this person their messages are so like just flowing out of their mouth, and they're so connected. Mm-hmm. And once I learned to let go of that, that was my fear.
Right.
So that I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And once I let go of that, it was just all was where I needed it to be. Yeah.
That's so funny. So, and I always just say what comes in, because I don't always know what it's for, but I remember I was in this early on, I was in this psychic workshop and we were supposed to guess what was in this box. And everybody was like guessing, like, it's sparkly, it's dome shape. And I just like, I was so frustrated because all I was getting it was like a long purple and white strip and like a little bear or something. And then the teacher revealed and it was like a snow globe. And I was so disappointed, like, why did it come in so strong and yet I was incorrect? And she later sent me a photo of what that globe had stood next to on the dresser for like years and years, and it was a little bear with a purple and white scarf.
Oh, wow.
And so it's kind of just taught me, like, trust what you receive, even though it may be different. It will always connect to that oneness, and it will always bring the piece that is most important to be paid attention to for the client. It was just kind of a little anecdote, like, why am I so off? And then like, no, it was just, I was just picking up a different part of the equation. So
yeah. I had something similar. That's very interesting. I was playing a game with my daughter a few years ago, and when I was kind of practicing readings, and I said, let's play a game. You pick something and I'll try to figure out what it is. So I said blue sponge, and I washed my dishes with a blue sponge. And then that's all I could do. Right. I was like, nope, that's it.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope, that's not what it is. But I will tell you what it is. It was a little rock that my granddaughter had painted that sits on my windowsill right above the blue sponge.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. Well, this is just such fascinating work, and I'm so honored to work with you and others who are doing this exploration that we're doing. So
yeah, thank you. I'm so grateful to you, Sarah. Everything that I've learned and where I've come to.
Oh, excellent. Well, and I'll put all the information for people to connect down below. We won't say, I'll just put that later. So, all right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.